Bryheit's going to give us a little bit of a laydown of what's in the area contingency plan and where it fits. But looking forward to hearing what you have to say, and if we can answer something or explain how we view it today, we'll try to do that. But really, I'm just want to hear what direction you think we should take on updates to this plan. Okay? Yes, sir.
Right now?
Not right now.
I have a question about the meeting. Now,
how about
leisure?
I'm doing 4. There's 2 in Florida. The 2 in Florida, for some reason, we're at the end of it. So here, and then on Monday, I'm in Panama City. Okay? That said, this is the town hall type meeting format. There will be other groups that Carl will help put together. When I say either formally or in, to actually do the nuts and bolts piece, right, Carl? And the plan is actually a digital plan, and those amendments are actually done through the Florida Fish and Wildlife are actually helping them to take the bytes and bits and put them into a digitized format, which then we can use. I meant to say a couple other things that we're going to look at. Ashley's going to talk about this. We're going to look at booming strategies as another piece, including in the plan. A lot of science was done during the spill, where we learned a lot about our environment, and particular pockets of our environment that maybe we hadn't been at before. It was just the resources were never really applied to it. I mean, I was reading the story the other day about folks walking the BP responders who were out finding archaeological sites and evidence of prehistoric ancestors that we just never saw before because nobody was looking at the beaches and the environment the way that some of the BP responders are out there now, alongside of environmental folks, alongside of archaeological historic folks. And some of those lessons we need to incorporate and update in our ECP. So, okay. Carl, I'll turn it back to you.
Okay, thank you. Just to elaborate real quickly for that gentleman asked the question. The plan of attack is we're going to move on to when we update it, we're going to take the list of folks that sign in here, take it to our existing list of stakeholders, and then when we have the real deal meeting to input the data, we're going to ask you folks if you want to attend. And hopefully you will, but like the captain said, that's going to be a work session, okay? So that's what the plan is for that. Probably going to use the same format, 2 meetings in Florida, 1 meeting in Alabama, 1 meeting in Mississippi. The plan is basically divided up into those 3 states, even though we have 15 coastal counties. With that said, I'd like to ask Ashley to come on up and move forward with this PowerPoint presentation.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Ashley Bryheit. I work in the contingency planning shop at Sector Mobile. This is my 2nd year here, so if I haven't met you guys yet, just introduce myself. Basically, what I'm going to cover today is the area contingency plan and a basic overview of what it contains. The area contingency plan covers the entire Captain-Port Mobile area of responsibility, the Louisiana border to the Susquehanna River, basically all the coastal zones, so anything south of 90 to 65, 59 to 98, and that is 50 coastal counties. Ways to get to the area contingency plan. I didn't bring one up with me, but we do have discs that we can give out to everybody. Brandon over there will show you what it looks like. And basically that contains our digital area contingency plan. If you do not have one of those discs or you want to get to it from the internet or something, you can also Google it. If you Google Sector Mobile Area Contingency Plan, it'll bring up 2 sites, Homeport and SWC. Both of those will go to the same exact place and both take you to the same page. So those are ways to get to the area contingency plan. So the purpose, what's the purpose of the area contingency plan? Basically it's a blueprint. It's meant to ensure that there's an effective response to incidents such as hazardous material releases and oil spill discharges. Background. Where did the area contingency plan come from? The area contingency plan is a direct derivative of the national contingency plan, which is a framework in which all kinds of agencies throughout the nation work together in response to incidents such as earthquakes, hurricanes, oil spills. The national contingency plan, or NCP for short, basically is a result of the motor vessel Torrey Canyon spill in 1968, which occurred in England. 31 million gallons of oil are discharged. The U.S. took note of this and started the NCP to help respond to such large incidents. The Area Contingency Plan itself is the direct result of the Federal Water Pollution Control Act of 1972, or the Clean Water Act, which was renamed in 1978, and that's what established the Area Contingency Plan requirements. The Oil Pollution Act of 1990, which was a result of the Exxon Valdez incident in Alaska, started the area committees. The area committees meet at least once a year, and they make sure that the plan is updated. Everybody who has interest in the plan is taking part and putting in their own input. Overview. So what's in the plan itself? One thing is incidents are never identical. Everything's different. This is not a step-by-step guide. It's a framework. So basically, it's going to depend on the size of the oil spill. It's going to depend on where it occurred, what time of year, where it happened, etc. This plan also includes multi-agency involvement. It's not just the responsible party and the Coast Guard that's going to be involved. It's going to be the responsible party, the Coast Guard, the state, the local liaison, NOAA, all kinds of different work together in order to mitigate and respond to an incident. The plan also ensures consistency in preparedness planning and allows for effective utilization of assets, and it's aligned with the Incident Command System, or ICS, which is the framework that everyone uses to work together in response to an incident. I'm going to read this one out loud because it's important, but the ACP defines roles, responsibilities, resources, and procedures necessary to ensure the coordinated, cooperative, and effective response capability for an oil and hazardous material response. And that picture, I know it's kind of hard to see with all the lights, but Exxon Valdez cleaning up the spill on the coast. So what's in our area plan specifically? Our ACP is broken up into 3 different parts. It's going to be the narrative, which is basically in the table of contents, which is one of the handouts you guys got, 1,000 through 9,000. And in this narrative, you're going to find command and control, logistics, planning, checklists, points of contact, etc. The second part of it is the ESI, the environmentally sensitive areas, and that's where you're going to find what kind of wildlife is in areas, what kind of dirt it is, if it's marshes, beaches, all the different environmental parts. And then the third part is the GRP, the Geographic Response Plan, and that's what responders are going to use to develop a strategy to respond to an incident. It's going to show you where the boat ramps are, it's going to tell you the type of ground, it's going to give you ideas for what kind of booming strategies you might want to use. Also in it is responsibilities of owners for federal, state, and local agencies to remove, mitigate, and prevent a successful threat of discharge. And finally, it's going to have the contact information for people to get hold of. It's going to have all kinds of information for what kind of towing vessels, emergency responders, OSBROs, all kinds of phone numbers and contact information, and it breaks it up to different subjects depending on what you're looking for. So if you open up the Area Contingency Plan, this is the first page you're going to get to. And in the middle there, it's going to give you the Sector Mobile Area Contingency Plan, which you can click on. That's the narrative. Underneath that is the One Gulf Plan. The One Gulf Plan is basically a larger version of our ACP. Our ACP would be an appendix to the One Gulf Plan. It includes the ACPs for throughout the entire Gulf Stream, for Houston, Corpus Christi, New Orleans, etc. So it'll give you that huge document. There's also the ESIs and the GRP on your guys' left-hand side. And it also is going to give you the policies and procedures for the regional response teams and different assets that are going to be used for responding to a spill. Areas to address. So updating our area contingency plan, which is why you guys are all here. After the Deepwater Horizon incident, the Coast Guard and various agencies wanted to capture the lessons learned and analyze our response to the incident. So there were many work groups that were put together, and many products are coming out now, just seeing exactly what the lessons learned were. One of the main products that we got is for the incident-specific preparedness review, and that's where a lot of these lessons learned have come from, as Captain Rose has talked about. As I said, there's still multiple coming out, but this is one of the ones we're focusing on for Coast Guard. And what came from that is, as Captain Rose has already talked about, the offshore worst case discharge, adding that into our plan for offshore facilities. Geographic area updates are another thing, making sure that everything in our area responsibility is included in the plan. Booming strategies, as Captain Rose has already talked about, they were not previously in the plan, and now we're adding them back in. shy updates. Scientists have ground truth a lot of what we had before, and so now we can put these updates in and have the best plans available and more detailed plans. And finally, disbursements, which Cameron has already talked about. Just to go over as we move into the section for comments and recommendations, I just want to go over that this meeting is not for the claims process, and it's also not for the Natural Resource Damage Assessment or NERDA. We want feedback from you guys to improve the plan for a way ahead. And that's all I have. So.
Okay, thanks a lot, Ashley. I'm going to have a pretty big panel here today, folks, so that's going to work out pretty good. Penny Anna Hart, she's not here. She's working this thoroughly. She was before in the Mobile River. We do have Commander Eric King here, Response Department Chief. He's the oil pollution guru, so if you got any real issues, he's probably the right guy to fire at. This is not good. This will probably fall down on my balls. That's probably not a good thing. Yeah, let's get two new papers. Okay, that's not a bad idea. Okay. All right, that's great. That's why you've got one more right tonight. All right, boss, we can do that. Something like that? I think so. Okay, and let me see. Where's my young lady from NOAA?
Got all our experiences past.
Commander. Yeah, you're not going to get away then. Okay. Who am I missing? And
What's the panel, what's the purpose of the panel? Because I may not be the best person, somebody else in the room might.
I think the panel, at least my envision was, if we have some local EMA folks and a question about local stuff comes up, we'd rather defer it to you due to the fact, like the captain said, we're not the experts on what's going on in Escambia County or Santa Rosa County, and we don't have any idea. Okay. Now, if it's a federal issue or a state issue, we got the right people up here. But as far as a local issue, we want to get local representation, because that's one of the lessons learned was that we didn't work close enough with local folks on the decision-making process. I think you guys need to be up here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up to the floor, and we're going to field comments from anybody in the audience.
Okay, Brandon's going to take notes
Yes, and
for our board, and Ashley's taking notes for that. Ashley's in the back, so Ashley's
yeah, Ashley's taking notes.
take notes. And Ashley said she's going to email everybody.
Yes,
Here,
yes, sir.
So you have an opportunity to follow on. Now, is there anything that folks have that they wanted to talk about that they think should be part of the Coast Guard's pollution response? I know probably very few of you, if any, have read any parts of the area contingency plan, but that's okay. So, if there's something you wanted to say, yes, ma'am.
Well,
And Carl's going to moderate this for us.
Yeah,
my
I've
name
got
is Angela Drees. I'm an attorney. I'm pretty okay with the Burns Law Firm, and we're handling these claims with the DCCF. And we are being told by the DCCF that if you're unhappy with the way the claims are being handled with the DCCF, we're supposed to go to the Coast Guard next.
Yeah, Angela, good question. That's not in the plan, although part of the response construct is to make sure that the responsible party is setting up a claim mechanism. When we're talking about this is focused on the cleanup piece, but I will say that yes, the National Pollution Fund Center in Arlington, Virginia, is